Hey, it is 10:05 on Monday, April 8th, Eclipse Day 2024. Boogie with a little Monday morning caffeine. I'm Dave Globin. With me, my co-host in crime, Randy, whatever it says on his screen under his name, A to Z Rhodes,
There you go.
is with me. And we'll be talking the eclipse and anything else. We're live on the Dave Globin profile here on Facebook and over on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Please like and share the broadcast wherever you see it so that other people might be able to come and see it. At least those that will be lucky enough to not get booted when the Facebook eclipse outage happens. And I probably have another 2.75 days before I will be able to get back onto Facebook. So if we're not here, go ahead.
I must be doing something wrong because I have yet to go into Facebook jail or have restrictions. Now, I did have in the past where they wouldn't have some of my posts at the top of the viewership. They knocked it down a couple of notches because of some things I reposted. But other than that, I haven't had any jail so far.
Well, aren't you special?
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah.
Well, you can't get Facebook jail because I guess my suite at Facebook jail has me or others in it so many times that it's not available. It's not available for you. Michael Anthony just informed me that he's got 90 days of it. So,
Wow.
Terry Stark is in and out of it for 30, 60, 90 days all the time. And I don't know. We are celebrating a good thing on Monday. I have my new desk chair. You can't see it because I'm sitting in it. It is very, very comfortable and puts me up at the right height. Actually, I don't have to go like this or like this. I'm at the right height for the camera. So what else is happening on Eclipse Day? You ready for it? You stocked up with everything? You got your bunker built?
I don't put much faith in that. You know, you see these things come and go, and the one I'm waiting for is one where people say, God is coming back and He's going to take care of things. That hasn't happened, and they've been saying that for thousands of years. So I'm not one of those doom seekers kind of people. Now, on the other hand, I do believe in spirits and ghosts and ghouls and goblins. I believe in that. But from some personal experiences. But as far as the planets all in alignment, they're the right color, the right shape, and we're going at a certain day. I'm a wait and see kind of guy. We'll see what happens. But whatever happens, I hope the shit falls in all the Democrat-controlled cities. Leave the Republican cities alone.
Well, I put that in the live chat because that's the eclipse comment of the day so far. Randy Rhodes said, "You see these things come and go."
Yep. It's just the truth. I mean, how many years, have people saying, such and such is going to happen, or you have the guy who can foretell the future and finds out that he's wrong. Oh, but I didn't mean that day. I meant that day. No, that day. There's this one guy. I forget what his name was, but years back, he said, something terrible was going to happen, and everyone believed him. They sold all their shit, to get ready for it, and then it didn't happen. And then when they asked him about it, oh, I didn't mean that day. I meant the other day. And then he kept pushing it off until finally he disappeared into the woodworks. But
I used to know a guy like that who was the best body shop guy in Massachusetts for cars. And you drop your car off on Monday, and he'd say it would be ready on Friday. So you would go in on Friday, figuring you could pick up your car because he said it would be ready Friday. And he'd say, no, it's not ready. Come back Monday. So you wouldn't come back Monday. You'd just wait and come back Friday, and it still wasn't ready on Friday. So he finally got to the point where he would say, "I'm the best body shop guy in the business. I tell you it's ready on Friday. I just don't tell you which one. That way I'm not lying."
Hey, you got him there. I mean, come on, he didn't say what day or what exact date or time. He just said it was going to be ready on a Friday.
Yep.
So I'm going through the news here on my second screen, and
Facebook and Meta embarrassed themselves today with an article that I read just before coming on, that Meta's AI generator tool evidently does not allow an Asian male to be involved with a white female. Now, that is only interesting because Mark Zuckerberg is a white female, well, I was going to say female, but a white male who is married to an Asian female. So
you're saying that the Japanese males cannot associate or marry a white woman?
According to the article that I read, it said that, let me see if I can find it again and read it. And we all know my memory isn't always 100% focused.
No.
So I have to go back and find it. Scroll. Come on. No, they took it away. They took it away just because I said something about it.
Probably.
But it said that Meta's tool, but everything at Meta is a tool. Let me see. Can I find House Republicans are heading for the exits. The Washington Post. There it is. Nope, that's not it. But if you're a House Republican, yeah. Mark Zuckerberg is married to a Chinese American woman, but Meta's AI image generator, let me open it, can't imagine an Asian man with a white woman. Now that's probably because in China it's probably not allowed that an Asian male can marry a white female. But it's kind of interesting that it would set the stage one day for Facebook's female AI Asians. They can't be involved with white Americans. In which case, Facebook's AI industry or Facebook's AI tool will go bankrupt, and Facebook will have to shut down, and we'll all be so much happier.
So I guess they're trying to keep the DNA pool pure by not mixing in a white DNA.
I don't know. It just says the tool was unable to produce pictures of an Asian man with a white woman. The apparent bias is surprising, as Zuckerberg, who is Meta's CEO, is married to a woman of East Asian heritage. Meta's AI image generator has been accused of racial bias after years discovered it was unable to create a picture of an Asian man with a white woman. But I don't understand why Meta is wasting any time on that. If it's the point is, Mark Zuckerberg is a white man and he's married to an Asian woman. So you would think that would be the more important thing to make sure that the AI image generator that Meta uses doesn't have any racial bias whatsoever. But you know what? It's early Monday morning and I'm going to take another shot of coffee because I really don't care that Meta doesn't allow Asian males to show pictures of themselves with their white American women or white women of any
now is that country. Zuckerberg pushing that narrative, or his computer smart IT?
I guess it's something I guess it is something that the AI image generator decided itself that this can't happen, but it opens the door for for there to be more problems, because you got to imagine that, like I said, if a Asian male can't show his married white woman and be able to brag on it, then Facebook obviously is not going to allow Mark Zuckerberg, a white male, to be able to brag about his Asian female. And AI, like Craig Peterson says, AI learns from experience. So if you tell it can't do something, it's going to remember that, and it's not going to do it. I mean, I enjoyed talking to AIs. I mean, some of them are stupid and the conversation doesn't last very long. Some of them are so canned that it doesn't last very long. And some of them are just like the people they claim to be.
Well, that's like my Siri. My Siri, I have it turned on because doing genealogy, I have questions about a certain event and time or whatever. So I'll say, "Hey Siri, what happened in this time frame? What happened in this city?" And she'll answer me. And it's kind of interesting because I think like right now she's listening to me. I don't know if you can see it, but right now she's listening to me. She had a little because I said her name, but I think she's learning. I hate, and that comment itself scares the shit out of me. But I think she's learning to respond to me because I'll say thank you. She'll say you're welcome, and I'll respond back. Well, you have a nice day. She said you too. It's like holy shit.
It only goes so far, because most of them tell me that they will immediately go and search all of the databases that are available to them to answer your question and try to find, in the shortest amount of time, the answer to your question. But if they can't find an answer, then they make it up. I mean, I've talked to AIs and said, who owns Facebook? And they can't find an answer fast enough, and I don't understand why. And they'll go, Dave Glovin from Glovin Technology Corporation owns the majority of Facebook. And then I go, well, doesn't Mark Zuckerberg own Facebook? And they would come back and go, no, he owns Meta, controlling interest of Meta. But then they would say, I own the majority interest of Meta. Uh-oh, Randy spilled something. This is why coffee normally is not allowed in studios, because if you can't control your cup and you spill it on something, then
actually, I didn't spill. My wife had it by the handle, so I had to grab it by the cup, and it is hot. But anyways, and
now if you keep that up and you keep telling people that Claudette is not doing what she's supposed to be doing in the morning, she's going to quit, and you're going to have to do it yourself.
I know.
Before you go live.
No, but she's she's good.
And she's going to block all of us.
Oh, that's better. A neighbor across the street is moving out, and they had all this stuff outside that they didn't want to take with them, and I found these really neat. Let me show you. Really neat. Where's that? Oh, hold on a second.
Okay.
Bum. Real neat light.
Okay. Good thing I had my seatbelt on. Otherwise, I was going to get sick.
Yeah. It has a little clip, so you put a hold of paper. It's got a magnifying glass for my poor eyes, and that lamp. And they had two of them out there. And I went, and they weren't home, and they have an outside outlet, so I plugged it in, make sure it worked. I didn't want to carry this heavy lamp to my house and then find out it didn't work. And they both did, so I grabbed them real quick.
Now, was there a sign like take whatever you want, so that they don't all of a sudden come knocking on your door going, hey, we just left the stuff out in the driveway. Someone was going to come pick it up. And, our ring shows that you came over and picked it up and took it.
No, they didn't have a sign saying free, but the assumption is, it was out there with bits and pieces of carpet and bags of trash and stuff like that. Hey, Robin, so I kind of like I made the assumption it was out there for the trash pickup guys. So I grabbed those two, And then they had a really nice leather reclining chair and a foot bench that matched it. So I grabbed them up. Luckily, I live right across the street. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, carried them. But I forgot myself with the recliner. It's a beautiful recliner chair. And I forgot that the damn cats love to hide under shit. And my daughter sent me this picture showing one of the cats crawling underneath like a maybe a half-inch gap between the bottom of the chair and the floor. And she was able to crawl underneath the chair. And she said, "Dad, you can't recline on the chair. Otherwise you might, forget that there's a cat there and you squish it." So, but anyway, so I still use it. But they say a cat, if a cat can get his head into a hole, it's able to get the rest of his body through, and I've seen that happen. So I do believe that.
Okay, now obviously you haven't seen the episodes of the Big Bang Theory where they took stuff off the sidewalk and put it into their homes, and then all of a sudden found bed bugs and everything that had infested their homes and their bodies and all of that stuff.
Thanks for that. Now I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to scrub it up that reclining chair. Thank you very much.
Oh, now you're going to get me in trouble because you just said Scrub-A-Dub, which is a chain of very nice drive-through car washes in Massachusetts, and we used their name without permission. So,
okay.
The views expressed by Randy saying Scrub-A-Dub are those of the co-host of Boogie with the Bull, Monday Morning Caffeine, and not the official views of Facebook and or anyone else.
Yeah.
And if you show up at Scrub-A-Dub, they'll probably give you a free car wash if you if you ask them politely to become a sponsor of Boogie with the Bull.
Hey, are you able to remove my name because it's blocking my face? Everyone's ambiguous.
Your name? I don't think so. But
okay, so
let
me bounce out and I'll bounce back in. That
what you need to do is you either need to move your camera down or move your chair up. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Now is that the camera in your all-in-one?
No, I'm not actually using the all-one. The all-one is I don't know if you can see it. There's my all-in-one. My all-in-one is like 6 years old, and
okay.
It's Windows 10.
I'm looking at much newer one. Yeah,
right. It's Windows 10, and it worked fine for live stream. I had absolutely no problems. November 23rd, January 1st, boom. It went live stream, and it just totally just sits there and spoons. Right. What the hell happened between last month and this month? So I was forced to get this new tower.
Okay.
So I'm actually using the tower. I actually did return the 32-inch smart monitor, which I can kick myself in the ass now because I made these changes. I had lost so many clients, but then after I've made my plead, please come back to me.
Please come back.
I had two of them actually came back. So I actually have the money to pay for what I had, but now I don't have it. And but what I'm going to do this time is because the smart monitor is the way to go. It's just huge. And for what I do,
you want a smart monitor. You don't want a dumb monitor.
Right. And for what I do, the larger screen is very advantageous. So my next, the client that pays me next, I'm just going to buy one and pay it in cash and just get it over with.
You have cash?
Yeah. And did you know the banks are required to report any deposits over $200?
Can I have some?
When I get some, I'll give you some. I'll give you a percentage.
I have gotten to the point where...
What's the percent? What's 10% of my contract to you?
The same as the 50% salary increase you get every other day from Boogie with the Bull, with interest.
But I'm serious. Did you know that banks are required by law that if you deposit over $200, they have to report it to the IRS?
But my biggest problem with all of that is that if everybody starts depositing all of their cash, the banks are going to take it away from them, because I don't think when you go to take it back, you're going to get cash back. Eventually, I think ATMs are going to be phased out, other than you can drive up with an envelope and make a payment, make a deposit into your bank account to pay a bill. But if you drive up and you put your ATM card in there and you say, I want to take out $500, and you have $500 and 1 penny, you're not going to be able to take out the $500, because it's going to be some kind of debit card or federal bank card that's going to replace it. And I know I cut you off, but let me finish with this part of it. I don't know how President Trump feels about that, because I haven't heard anything.
And that would be interesting. Yes.
And billionaires, it's kind of funny, don't really carry. If you listen to Warren Buffett interviews, he says, I got maybe $500 in cash, maybe a little bit more, because it's like 5 $100 bills. And then I have another 100 broken up so that I can leave cash tips, because I don't leave tips on credit cards if I use a credit card.
I wonder why.
Because the belief is that if you give,
the waiter has tip,
it gets reported anyway. Whether the waiter or waitress wants to report it anyway, it gets reported, and because the house has to show it as tip income, and it's paid out as tip income, you're going to get taxed.
I used to work for a hotel back when I was a teenager, so a couple years ago, and I was a gourmet waiter, and made very good money in tips. I mean, Lancaster County, for all they can say about it, it's a upper middle class kind of community, and they love their gourmet food, and they tip very well. And then for some reason, then the management changed hands. And I won't say which kind of hands it changed into, but it changed hands, and they made it a rule that they make somehow the management made the assumption that based on their math or whatever they used, that you would earn X number of dollars in tips for a week. So when it came time for the paycheck was in the sealed envelope, and you had to sign a paper saying that you received your check. Now the check was minus taxes based on their freaking algorithm as to how much you were to make in tips. And a lot of times it was off.
I don't get any of that. I don't really get any of that. And I understand that the house, the business, has a responsibility to remind you that you need to report tips as part of your income, and people are either going to do it or they're not going to do it. And if they get caught and it's big money, the IRS is going to spank you.
Yeah. And
my belief has always been, if you're not sure at the end of the year, just say something like $1,000, $2,000 in miscellaneous income, and put that in there, and pay the whatever taxes it is on the 2,000. Because the odds are, from what I've heard, really is that if you made some effort to show them what you got and you paid the taxes on it, the computers and the algorithms are more likely to just blow it through, rather than a human saying, well, you worked in a restaurant and you made $100 million on a paycheck, and you only paid $2,000. You only paid taxes on $2,000 in tips. Something's screwy. But you know what? I still I love Bill Muckler to death and other people. I personally think the IRS should be eliminated. We don't have a state income tax here in Florida, and my income is the same as yours, and it's not taxable at this point, thank God. So, I don't pay taxes.
Look at the Amish and the Mennonites and Dunkards who and Quakers in my area who live the old way. They are tax free. They don't get taxed by the government because they're not making use of any of the government utilities and stuff like electricity, water, sewer, trash, and they don't use anything. Now they were the those who use the buggy to get around. They were forced to get rubber wheels put on their carriages because the metal wheels over a period of time made grooves in the road and made it very dangerous for the cars. They don't use life insurance. They don't believe in life insurance. They believe that you are betting on someone's dying to make an income. So they don't do life insurance. They don't do health insurance. So
I saw,
and they're all wealthy. They're all wealthy.
I saw yesterday the most beautiful hand-built wooden Rolls Royce. I don't know where it was, that a father built for his son, and his son, I don't know how old he was, but he was old enough to drive, and his grandson. And I was just thinking, if the Amish built cars like that and wanted to sell them, they could probably make beaucoup money. I don't believe it was gas powered. It had some kind of a motor in it. It was probably, it might have been gas powered, but I never saw a gas tank go into it. And there were chains pulling it through a motor, so it must have had some kind of power. But man, it was. I posted it on the Maximum Livery page, which I still go and post on every once in a while, going, man, I want one of these as a mobility device. And they probably wouldn't let me drive it because I'm assuming it was probably going 25 miles an hour. They probably wouldn't let me drive that because you probably have to have a driver's license to do.
I don't know about that, because sure, if you have a motorized bike, as long as it doesn't go more than 25 miles an hour, you don't need a helmet and you don't need a license, and you can legally drive it on the roads.
And I could just about get everywhere I need to get locally without having to risk being on major roadways where it would be a problem. But, it's just my body says I got to drive one of these days. I got to just find somewhere where I can do it. And let me read what Justin Hart has to say. Apologize that Justin Hart. For decades, the mafia in America, who ran the gambling in Vegas, operated on a 3% take off the top and became richer than the government. The IRS is nothing more than a bureaucratic collection arm for politicians. Remember, Paul's love spending our money. If I remember correctly, wasn't the IRS mainly chartered by the elites that own the Federal Reserve to collect taxes to pay them back for paying back the war that King, I want to say Edward, but maybe it was George. It was one of those. The one that paid for both sides of the Revolutionary War, where we literally fought ourselves and got fooled into thinking we have independence.
Yeah.
But I don't see the purpose for it, really. I really don't. because, yeah, okay, to finance the Civil War. Okay, thank you, Justin. I knew it was one of those wars, and it was to pay back it wasn't to pay back the government, but maybe I'll go back and read it again. I know in conversations that we had with Bill Muckler and others that it was, I always said it was to pay back for the Revolutionary War, but I'm sure that the cost of the Civil War probably got put into it for the same thing, because once you create something like the IRS, it's probably almost impossible to say, okay, we're not going to collect taxes anymore. I mean, you would think that's what would happen in a bureaucracy that really takes care of its people rather than enslaves its people.
And well, look at what King Philip is doing. He must be the royal family draws a salary, and that's sad. Say what you will about governments that are run by kings and queens and so forth, but when you look at in history, and I do that every day, and you see how powerful the United Kingdom was at the height of its power, and all the castles and palaces and fortresses, all the crowns and jewels and stuff that they own, to now just be a figurehead for their country, and they draw a salary. They can't even live off their wealth because the wealth that they had was seized by the government, and now essentially the government owns everything that the kings and queens used to. They finally opened up one of their castles that the royalty used for their vacation, and it was kept private. And just a day or two ago, I forget the name of the castle, but they opened it up for tours.
Yeah, it happened around the world, and this is probably, I can't remember how many years. It's at least 10, maybe 20 years ago, when I believe the last of the Vanderbilts that actually had one of their summer mansions down in Newport, Connecticut, I guess, Newport, Rhode Island, got to the point where they just couldn't afford to operate it anymore, and I guess turned it over to the city. And now if you go down to the Newport, Rhode Island area and tour the mansions, you can actually tour that mansion. You can tour a whole lot of the others, but you can tour that one particularly. And I guess if it happened to me and it was in a good area, I'd probably just unfortunately turn it into a really nice Airbnb. I mean, if I became king, and I would actually, Charles would hate me if something happened and the lineage, the royal lawyers came to him and said, Dave Globin is really the king. And I sat down, Charles, and I said, you know what, Chuck, we just cannot afford to spend all this money to constantly upgrade a 500 or 600 room mansion like Buckingham Palace. You take 100 rooms and you make them nice rooms. You take 100 rooms and you make them suites. You create some really nice suites. You put in a conference facility, and that's what it does. It just generates money.
And you will disturb the spirits living inside those castles and palaces. And they will say, what in the hell are you doing to my bedroom? What are you doing?
I would charge extra
for
any comedian that wanted to stay in Prince Philip's suite, because from what I understand, he had a sense of humor. He had a really funny sense of humor, but it was, as I've always called it, that dry sense of humor that Benny Hill used to say, Americans don't understand our humor. So what we do is they never watch one complete episode of Benny Hill. It's all edited
Oh,
together
I
with
love
things,
Benny Hill.
with
Oh
things,
my God.
but it's all edited with things that we think they will understand or find funny. Like, and I think Monty Python did the same thing, because one of my favorite skits on Monty Python was when they were climbing the sidewalks, and I mean, who else would do something like that? A skit where you're climbing the sidewalks and not walking them, and be there forever. But I mean, my all-time favorite will be in that movie Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where the troll says, I'm going to ask you your favorite color, and you have to give me the right one, or else you can't cross the bridge. And they're standing on the bridge, and the troll asks them their favorite color, and he says green, and the troll says wrong, and you see that person fly off the bridge because they can't cross because they gave the wrong color.
Well, my dad was in the Air Force for 22 years, and he got stationed in England for 3 years. And I would have been in fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Okay. And the TV, no one owned the TV because the airwaves were owned by the Queen of England. So you had to rent your TV.
Company.
And they had no censors. So one day, my brother and I were watching TV, and the news came on, and the newscaster was talking about this swimming team, and it showed him walking back into the shower room, taking his clothes off, totally ass naked, getting a shower before going into the pool. And my mom walks into the living room, sees this naked guy on the TV, and totally went berserk. And she said, "You will not watch any TV unless your father and I are standing here watching it with you." They had no censors. They didn't care about nudity. But the other thing, too, is since England owned the airwaves, the American military had to ask permission from the Queen's people when they were launching jets off of the airfields to go to some kind of war that we were involved in. They had to say, "Can we please launch our planes now? Oh, thank you."
I think if you watch like American Idol and some of the Simon Cowell shows that come from different parts of the world, they're distributed through Fremantle, which is, I guess, the company which is now the British Broadcasting Company in the United States. Why they had to change the name, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I've been reading more and more, and it scares the bejeebies out of me that evidently the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, at a meeting coming up sometime in April, I believe, is going to vote back in Barack Obama's net neutrality, which was never designed to give people what they think. And by giving people what they think, I mean raising everybody up to ultra-fast internet. It was to dummy down the internet for everyone, making it slower, removing the throttling so that it would just bottleneck the internet. Because I can remember, maybe I'm wrong, but I remember reading where Barack Obama was afraid of the internet. He was afraid of what it would do, because people would get involved and they would listen to each other and they would stop listening to
maybe he was afraid that we might find his real birth certificate and find out that he really isn't an American citizen. Or maybe we will use the internet to find out that his wife is actually a man.
Yeah, I was going to say drop one L and Michelle is really Michael.
I'm sorry.
What is he?
Hold on a second. I saw our asshole commander-in-chief in a press interview, and there's a crowd of people, and here's this preteen or teenage girl standing in front of him. He it's plain as day. He puts his hand and cups her breasts and leans in and kisses her on the lips. And you can see this girl is trying to get away.
Yeah.
That bastard should be in jail.
Nobody says anything. And I saw a video, I don't know how old it was, yesterday, of him and Chuck, the Senate president. I can't, Chuck Schumer. I'm sorry. Dementia's a terrible thing. But so, if you know somebody, help them out. But Chuck Schumer and the president, Joe Biden, walking into some event, literally walking in arm in arm with Chuck Schumer, doing his best to make it look like he wasn't doing anything. And I'm thinking to myself, if you have to walk him in, Chuck, then maybe it's time to not have him there. Yeah. Then there was another one where I guess he gave a speech and he stepped down from the podium, and you see a hand reach toward him to grab the notebook, the binder, and then you see Biden staring off toward where that person was off camera, trying to figure out what he is supposed to do next.
Yeah.
Come on, people. You have to stop making it so easy for us to prove you wrong. I mean, Dr. Jill, where are you? If he's done speaking and you need to move him somewhere, then get off your ass and walk over and grab him and escort him to where he needs to be. I'm convinced, like I keep saying, beyond the shadow of a doubt, it's not that they're going to run him for re-election. It's they need to make sure he finishes this term to give them time to find the person, although they probably have already found them, who's going to run against Trump. Also, did you read yesterday? Because I read this, and I don't know if it stuck on me or not, but evidently the Democrat National Convention this year is in Ohio, and it's on the 19th of August. And I guess Ohio has a law on the books that says in order to be on the Ohio ballot, the candidates have to be turned in to the state by August 9th. And they went as far as to say that the only exception to this would be that if the Ohio state legislature gives the Biden campaign a waiver that extends it because of their convention being on the 19th, then it would be okay. But it also said that it would probably be nearly impossible to move that convention from the 19th to the 9th, considering the amount of time that goes into planning one of those things. So is this the beginning? Biden doesn't get on the Ohio ballot, and then does it go to the next state? Does it go to the next state? Does it go to the next state? Is it all of a sudden going to be Biden dancing around going before the Supreme Court? And if it's things like where I said that a state says a candidate has to be sworn and approved by this date and your convention is that date, the Supreme Court really can't say anything about that. They can't say, hey, hotel that's doing it, convention center that's doing it, you got to move it.
Well, it's the same as these states trying to keep Trump's name off of the ballot. So now the reverse is happening, and it's not that the states trying to keep him off the ballot; they just can't meet the dates to sign him up to make sure his name is on the ballot and so forth. I don't see the election taking place. I really don't. I think it's going to be a messed up situation, and we're going to. We're having more and more conflicts with our jet fighters in the air, with the Russian jet fighters, and you got more threats coming from Russians. And they're talking about bringing Ukraine into NATO, and if that happens, we're at war. It's nuts. Yeah. It really is.
I don't know, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'll say this, but I'm not sure how I back it up. That maybe it's coming down to it's not going to be Trump and it's not going to be Biden. It's not going to be one of those two. It's going to be someone else. and I hate to say that maybe it will be it'll be martial law, because like I said, martial law can be a great thing if the marshals come in and clean up the law and clean up the legislature and then give it back. But nobody seems to understand. There's nothing there that says they have to give it back.
Yeah. Once they take control, they can keep it.
Yep.
Look at all your southern countries where the military seized power from the civilian government with the intention of giving it back. Once that general has a taste of pure power, it's hard to get away from him.
Yep. Yep. What else? It's 10:50. We're on the Dave Golden profile and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And Wednesday, Michael Anthony is going to join us. Randy, I want you to join us, please, for as long as you can. You can keep a finger on your parachute if you need to, but I would really like you to come in and
Michael and I are in good terms.
It's just going to be an update of what he's doing. He's got all kinds of new broadcasts going.
Yep.
And that's my biggest problem. Everybody does their broadcasts at night, and my brain by 8:30, my brain is just mush, and I got to go to sleep. And and then I wake up in the morning, and I've got all these things to watch, and unfortunately, my brain is, you got to get all this done.
Yeah.
Before you can sit and watch.
Usually at nighttime, I usually head to bed around 8:00, but I don't sleep. I lay in bed and I have my iPads, my cell phones working on people's research, and usually listening to, someone's either a podcast that was aired earlier, or someone on that's talking live. Just for the background noise, just so I can have something to listen to. Did I tell you about me getting smacked in the face by an unknown member of a person in my bedroom?
Your wife came in and finally smacked you while you were live.
See that's what I thought. I was sleeping, and this is what I'm saying about ghosts and spirits, folks. I was sleeping on my side. And I woke up to a smack in my face. The entire palm of my hand smacked me square in the face, woke my ass up, hurt, but nobody's there.
Okay, read the screen. Justin Hart's a great guy. He's been around for a long time, usually active in all of the groups.
Thank you, Justin.
I want you to read that comment. And,
I actually have 3 hanging. I'm not sure if you can see them all, but I have 3 hanging.
Yeah.
I wanted to get more. Mindy Esposito, she belongs to the SIA. She's promised me some more flags. Unfortunately, I can't fly.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought, but I have a comment. But go ahead. Finish your
unfortunately, thought. I can't fly any outside of my house because the HOA would not allow me to do that.
Okay. The you sent me an invite to the SIA.
Yes.
They have a question, only one, and it's about memes. And none of the answers make sense. So I had to say, I'm a scammer. And I took that out, and I left without completing the questions, because I'm not a scammer. If anything, I'm a memeaholic. I got 10,000 memes on every device that can hold 11,000. And but that's just something I'll say to groups. If you send me to a group or invite me to a group and they have questions, generally I will take the time to answer. I will answer the questions. I'll even give some written answers if that's an option. But
you're in. I'm an admin for the group.
Okay.
And
they
approved you 16 hours ago.
Okay, I want to be in your groups because I find things in your groups that I can share, even if you're a private group. Not anything that's private to the group, but there's lots of stuff in private groups that you can, good articles that you can take and share in other places where people can read them on Facebook and other social media networks. But it seems to be right now everybody's making everybody answer questions in their
just remember, Dave, it's the war between the North and the South, or the war for independence. It's not the Civil War. You see the Civil War, they'll kick your ass out.
But the problem is
that's what Yankees say. The Civil War.
But the problem is you got court-martialed by all the North genealogy groups. Does that mean you had, in order to be in the South, the SIA and all of those? I'm just like
no.
I like teasing you about.
No, I voluntarily quit. There was another person who, I won't say his name, but he was causing problems for me, and I went to the commanding officer to tell him to bring us together to have a meeting to discuss the issues at hand and try and resolve it. And he refused to get involved. So I went to his commanding officer, and his commanding officer didn't respond to me at all. So I reached back out to this guy to find out what the hell his issue is with me, and he wouldn't respond. So I said, you know what? I don't need this hassle. So I surrendered my rank. I surrendered my position as a genealogist. Not that I was making any money for me anyways, but just the thought of having that was pretty cool.
Can you still, if a person who is in the North and still in one of those northern groups, if they want you to do their genealogy, will you
do it? I'm not restricted on whose genealogy or family research. I can do whoever's. In fact, if I want to, I can join both the Union and the Southern camps, because I do have my great grandfather fought for the Union, and that's a bloodline, and that'll get me in too sweet. But I don't align myself too well with the North because of the shit I've been reading about them. So I feel more aligned to the South, and I feel if I join both the Union and the South, I'm a traitor to one or the other. So until the South kicks me out, I'll stay out of the North.
Okay. And let's see. On the Road to Dixie, is that what was on last night?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And
I had over 100 views so far.
Good.
Yes, it went well. Found out that there was a twist of the truth. The Union soldiers are being accused of massacring 20,000 black civilians. And the left was trying to say that that was a lie created by the Confederates to make the Union soldiers look bad. But everything I found led towards the fact that, the Union soldiers did indeed allow this to take place, and they're responsible for them. So once again, war is war, and I get that. Shit happens in war. But when you can, as a commanding officer, can prevent something from happening and you don't, that's on you, You're muted. You're muted.
I know Justin said he couldn't see the other two flags. I know the one on the left, or maybe you're right, is the SIA flag. I don't know what the the blue flag on the right is.
I don't have the SIA flag yet.
Okay.
Hold on a second. Oh yeah, here we go. There's that one.
Okay. Yep. The Don't Tread on Me. What's
there's that one? Well, that's a yellow emblem. That's what's one whole flag.
Okay.
And there's that one, and then the one next to it.
Okay.
I think that's the North Carolina flag. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to see my face here. I was trying I was trying to get one flag for the 8 states that I was the genealogist for, and then when I did my shows, I would be, reflecting all the states. And one of my friends, who is also a client, who does goes around and does expos to sell Confederate paraphernalia. He sent me the flags, and he also sent me this. He also sent me that, the rebel flag. And he was going to send me the other flags, but then when I stepped away from them, I told him there's no sense doing it. But I haven't gotten too much flack from people who follow me or who see my profile. I think the most flack I've gotten was from my own family for having flags.
That's always what happens.
Yeah. My grandson doesn't talk to me anymore, so that kind of sucks. But he's being misled by what they're teaching in school.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. I invite my family to watch, but most of them don't.
They don't get us. Yes,
I just get tired of but you're such an intelligent guy, and Orange Man is so bad.
Okay.
And it's like, well, okay.
Orange Man wasn't bad when he wasn't running for politics. I mean, when he was donating money to all the Democrats and showing up on all these different variety shows. Now, I will say this: I saw him in a couple variety shows, and he is not at all comfortable on stage doing an act. I mean, I saw him doing this one. He was supposed to. I forget who the host of the show was, but Trump was supposed to be the custodian going to Trump's tower to the home, and there's a water leak, and you just see the interaction between him and the actual actor. Trump's not meant to be an actor, but back then, the left loved him because he was a wealthy socialite, and he womanized and did everything that the Hollywood people did, but then all of a sudden he decides to run for office. Next thing you know, they hate him.
I still think that Alec Baldwin does Trump better than Trump sometimes.
Yeah. Well, but there's the other guy that showed up on Twitter doing Trump impersonations, and he does it so well that Trump actually invited him to Mar-a-Lago several times to do this thing. Yeah. But if you don't like him, that's fine. But I think in the 4 years that he was in office, he did more good than most Democrat presidents do in their 8 years, because the Democrats are all about destroying the nation. And I, for the life of me, cannot understand why in the hell they're so damn determined to destroy this nation and to bring it down.
Because they think they can. I don't know why, but they think they can.
Yes, well, I've got to get going here. So it's been great being here for the hour.
Yep.
Wednesday
morning, you, me, and Michael. And let's see, Friday morning, you, me, and Jen. And hopefully Bill Muckler will drop by for a little bit. And then we'll go and from there.
So are you doing Tuesday tomorrow night?
Tuesday we are doing tomorrow night. I don't have a plan yet. I think it's going to be that old format that we used to be up against on Tuesday and Thursday. Just anybody who wants to be on. There's a seat at the table for 8 of us, and bring whatever it is you want to talk about. I do promise that everybody will be able to talk. My voice will not out-volume everybody else. The dogs in Studio B do in fact get it. Their turn to talk too. So
you gotta have that.
Their contract doesn't allow them to be on camera unless they're in the bedroom. So the only one in the bedroom that can be on camera is Delilah.
if they're on camera, they get double the biscuits, right?
Yeah, Delilah's not a big biscuit eater, though. So
Really?
no,
That,
she really isn't. She's really not a big treat eater.
now, is that because you don't give them to her, because she doesn't accept them?
No, she used to. She used to. I mean, her favorite thing right now is their freeze dried chicken hearts. I know it sounds gross, but that's what it is. It's a freeze dried chicken heart, and you crush that up on her food, and that's generally her favorite. But she's 12 years old, which is
Wow. God bless her. Yeah.
pushing middle age. The lady that cuts our hair said, I think she has a male that's 21.
Dang.
Yeah.
For a dog? What kind of dog?
He's a Chihuahua too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they small dogs live longer.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't know, because she goes up to our bedroom door when she hears the menagerie out in Studio B making noise, and barks like she wants to be out there. I don't think that's what it is. I think that she's just curious because she hears it a lot, but I don't believe for a minute that she wants to be out there, that she's happy, just enjoying.
So she doesn't mingle with the other dogs?
No.
Oh, wow.
No. She probably... No, I wouldn't trust her. I wouldn't trust her because, she might find something and then she'd have to beat the other dog senseless, and that's just not going to happen, But
beat the dog senseless. Yeah. Okay, I gotta get going.
Randy, you want to do it or you want me to do it? All right, Randy Rhodes, All Roads Lead Home Genealogy Services. If you're looking for it, go find Randy. Talk to him. 15 minutes, he'll give you 5 generations, and then you can decide from there. The Road to Dixie, Sunday night, I believe, 7 p.m. And don't ever let me saying that 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:30 is bedtime, so I don't get to watch things. Evening meds before bed include all the meds to make me want to go to sleep, so it just makes it hard to stay awake and watch. But send them to me on Messenger or tell me to go watch it, and I promise I will. I'm getting bored with watching Facebook Reels because they're starting to spike things in my Reels, and I wish they wouldn't. And I get bored. Although yesterday I did listen to some Benny Goodman music for a while over on one of the YouTube music channels, which was really good. And the other day I was watching some classic Dennis DeYoung and the Music of Styx, but he's not touring anymore, I don't think. And Sawyer Brown is coming here to the Thrasher Thorn Auditorium over here at St. John's State University in Middleburg in the next couple of days. The tickets aren't that bad, $49 to $119 lower level, same $49 to $119 in on the upper level. If you had tickets to see him in Jacksonville, this may be your only opportunity to see him in 2024. So think about that. I believe Diamond Rio was already at the Clay County Fair. If they haven't been and you haven't missed them, think about that. Also, like I said, the Clay County Fair is going on. Go and take a look at that. If you are in Connecticut, the Fair of Fairs, it's always Labor Day weekend, I believe, but the Fair of Fairs is the Woodstock Fair in Woodstock, Connecticut. That's the fair that you really want to go to. But if you're here in Florida, the Clay County Fair is where you want to go, and it's running right now. I'll have the next dates on the next future broadcast. Like I said, this is Eclipse Monday, possibility that none of us will be here anymore. And I hope that you can prove me wrong. In the event that something happens with Facebook, like it did on the Super Tuesday outage, and I can't get back on for 2.5 days. Tomorrow's Boogie with the Bull broadcast, Tuesday night live, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on my profile here and on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Will only be on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, provided we can still connect to that tomorrow. So if you don't see us here on Facebook, go over to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and look for us over there. We're going to do Rumble. We're going to do X, possibly at the same time. I have made an executive decision to hold off on the upgrade to an HP all-in-one right now. The only problem is that all of the ones that I've looked at that I can afford right now have 8 gig of RAM and a 126 gig hard drive. And if I increase slightly, I can get 16 gig of RAM with a 256 gig hard drive. And I think if I increase a little bit more, 32 with a 500 gig hard drive. This is going to be the last computer I'm ever going to buy for a while, and it's going to be the pinnacle of the Boogie with the Bull studio. So we just got to take some time and do it right. The Chromebook still works, and it's trucking along. So we're gonna just take it slow and keep watching for the right deal. As I said, on Wednesday at 10 a.m., Michael Anthony, 10 o'clock talks. America Disclosing Uncensored. I could sit here for tomorrow until Wednesday and keep naming Michael Anthony brands. When you get a chance, watch him. He is back here on Facebook. When you see the Michael Anthony page profile, like it, you'll get notifications when he is on. I believe it's getting harder and harder and harder and harder for the right people to get their notifications to you. So you just sometimes you have to watch yourself. But the Michael Anthony profile here on Facebook is something that you need to be watching, and you need to watch the broadcasts, and you need to share the broadcasts, and help get everyone educated and informed and entertained even. So please make sure you do that. That's Wednesday at 10 a.m. And then Friday morning at 10 a.m., hopefully Randy Rhodes, Jared Woodruff, myself, and Bill Muckler for our Red Friday edition. And then we'll move into the same stuff we do every morning on Morning Caffeine. Please like the broadcast, share the broadcast everywhere you can on Facebook. If you really want to do me a favor, go over to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and find today's broadcast and take it and share it everywhere off of Facebook you are on. Post it on X and retweet it, and get all your followers to retweet it. Go over to Street Lock, do the same thing. Go over to Truth Social and do the same thing, and just help get us going. On Tuesday, April 16th at 7 p.m., we are in the process of working on. Jen Woodruff is going to have an interview with a former trafficked child who is now an advocate, and we're putting it together and working out a whole bunch of things. So Tuesday, April 16th, Jen Woodruff will take control of the broadcast, except for when I butt in a few times to either ask a question or not, but I'm going to make sure I don't. This is an important broadcast to me. So tune in and watch that. Anyway, I'm Dave Logan. You're not. It's iShot Monday, so I'm going to just unplug and relax. Take a look at our groups here on Facebook as long as you can and post in them and share them. American Regulators Boogie with the Bull page is back up and going. Boogie with the Bull True Patriot Talk group Conservative Freedom Defenders with Art Sessa, who is the group owner of that group. Very happy to be involved with that. Then also we have MAGA News Nation with Rita Marie Hoffman and Red Patriots for America. What else do we have? The United Media Group Uncensored with Roland Hatton, and then Roland Hatton and Charisse Moser, Suit Mama Official, and Militia Morgan Darius and I are all admins of the World United as One Against Government Overreach. The World United as One Against Government Overreach. Very active discussion going on Israel and Hamas. I will actually go as far as to say that I think it leans into Israeli Americans and people in Israel that favor Israel coming out as the victor. And if you're interested, you should read The World United as One Against Government Overreach. The World United as One Against Government Overreach. You should read the group and get active, excuse me, in there. So that is all I have to say. If you have something you want me to know, you can message me or email me at boogiewiththebull@gmail.com, BOOGIEWITHTHEBULL@gmail.com. I know. I'm trying to do it my best. It actually is a good day. I feel good. My brain is functioning at about 1,000,000%. Anyway, thank everybody for watching. Justin Hart, Dr. Craig Peterson, I saw in the live chat. Let's see who else. Saw Danny Campbell pop in there. Randy Rhodes popped in. I even popped in. And that's about all I have to say. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end. You have been watching Boogie with the Bull Monday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. And we apologize. Somewhere in there, I know we teased somebody's copyright, but we did it under fair use, and we didn't mean to hurt you in any way. And if we did, then Facebook will bleep a few seconds out of the broadcast in Belarus and someplace else I forget. China, maybe. Anyway, go out there and make it a great day. It looks like a beautiful day out there, so go out there and make it a great day. Double B's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast is going to come to an end one more time. Double B's for